To get us started, let's talk about what makes Danger Jones different. Their lightener, it is absolutely incredible, and you guys are finding that out for yourselves. But their fashion colors are also next level. They're formulated with built in plant based bonders, and some shades are so strong they will even show up on natural levels as dark as 7 and some 6s without any pre lightening. Color technology has evolved. Danger Jones and Joico both have the highly pigmented shades that can show up beautifully even on unlightened hair. There is a trick for natural hair, like my gray haired customers, and we don't do that bleach in the same service. We use the Malibu Undo Goo. It shifts the pH of the hairs so that the cuticle opens up slightly and allows that color to grip. Now, this is one of my customers who I recently did fashion color on. Now, for hers, we shampoo her out twice with the Undo Goo, dry her hair, apply the fashion color, let it process at its time, and then rinse her out in cold water. No shampoo needed. Well, Undo Goo is a highly alkaline, it's got a very high pH, and that helps to prep that cuticle for color. And since Danger Jones is plant based, the smaller molecules and added protein actually fill and protect the hair from the inside out.
Oh,
So let's look at the difference. So our plant based bonders are smaller. So when you drop, they fall right in. The best part about this is there is no space left in that cuticle, and that allows it to be repaired from the inside out. This is our animal based protein. See how big that is? There's my cuticle. So this still leaves a void in the cortex of the hair. They are heavy, they are larger. They do not penetrate and heal that cuticle from the inside out. But on top of that, those plant animal based proteins can actually stack on top of each other. And then it gets really heavy. And then after it gets so heavy, it can actually cause your hair to break. Well, let's take a look at this one. This is one of my fashion colors. She is in my chair every 4 to 6 months. So let's take a look at exactly all of the steps that it takes me to do this color. So the total amount time on this color was 4.5 hours. Guess what her ticket price was? $570. Let's look at my next customer. Do you care? Thank you, Kat. This is the way she came in. So after some discussion, we decided to cut that length. And this is what she wound up with. Now, let's take a look at what I did for hers and how much time it took me. All in all, her total time in my chair was 2.5 hours. But her overall ticket was actually $340 because we have to charge for those additional colors and we have to charge for the services that we're doing. So I know I mentioned that I had two favorites, and that's the Joico and the Danger Jones. So what we did is I wanted to give you an idea, guys, of what level these colors are going to show the brightest on. This one, while much more intense and vibrant, is a level 10. Now, the reason that is because on Joico, we actually have a level finder, and that is that number that is circled on the package. Now, with the Danger Jones, however, we have this as our level finder. Now, this is one of those that I told you will show up even on as dark as a level 6. Now, look at the difference in this color. So this one is with a level 10. Bright, intense. And this one right here is a level 8. Even though it had a darker base, it's still going to have a lot of vibrancy. So that's another thing to consider when you're lifting your customer's hair. The lighter you can get it, the more intense it is going to be. So let's take a look at how we are going to apply this color. Now, this is a level 10 on our color swatches. So I'm going to take my color brush and I am literally going to put a ribbon on that brush. As you work it in on this swatch, your hair is actually going to get like a creamy consistency. So the only thing I want to do is with that leftover, go back through and I want to apply some of that pink back on top so that I have a little bit of that Danger Jones on the surface, because as I worked it, that color literally sucked right into that cuticle. So now we don't have that milky look, and we can let this just process at room temperature for 25 minutes. So as you can tell, there are 23 colors for Danger Jones. And on this chart, it shows where every color lives. And by that, I mean what is the undertone or the base color it will fade to. Now, out of these colors, there are 5 that are UV reactive. And guess what? You can mix them. The purple in my hair is actually the Love Sick mixed with some of that Vertigo in order to give me a more vibrant, like fashiony tone for my purple, because that one is not UV reactive in their line. But I wanted to show off some of what these UV reactive colors look like, as there were not examples of all of them in the work that was shown. Not only is this going to have where every single color lives, but it's going to tell you. So let's say on this example, there is canceling out with the color wheel. So let's say we got somebody who wants like a pale blue. Can you go back, Cap, please? Let's say somebody wants a pale blue. Now, if you see, it says canceling with the color wheel underneath this color wheel. So, and they've got pale yellow. Well, right over beside it, it shows that if I mix in a little bit of a pastel purple, I'm going to get a darker version of that blue. Now let's switch over to this other one. So if you look, we want a blue, but there is some yellow in that hair. So according to this chart, I'm going to go to yellow and go across, and that color says violet. So to cancel out my yellow and actually get blue, I need to add a little bit of that violet to my color formula. And we don't want to pre-tone. So I can do that using the Danger Jones.
Looking at this color wheel, I understand it, but I don't understand it.
Okay, so let's break it down. There are 3 primary colors: red, blue, and yellow. All right. But then we also have our secondary colors. When you add red and blue, you get purple or violet. Or blue and yellow, you get green. Or red and yellow, you get orange. So, and then we go so on. We can get red and purple and get magenta. Blue and purple get indigo. Yellow and gold, you're going to get like a tangerine or a gold color. But if you do blue and green, you're going to get a teal or an aqua color. So opposites on the color wheel actually neutralize each other. And this is key for toning and prepping the canvas for vivids. So if we don't want yellow, then we're going to need to put purple or violet in it. And if we don't want orange, we're going to need to use blue. Or if we want to get rid of red, we're going to have to use a little bit of green. So let's look at this next one. My customer came in. She had green. That's chlorine green in the bottom because the pool turned that purple and ugly, ugly. I call it pond scum green. So when I go back to my color wheel, if we'll look at this next slide, I can see green. So I know I want to give her, she wants a bright and bold, like purple and blue. Well, okay, purple and pink. She's got some blue in her hair, but she's also got green. Now, if I mix blue with like a pink or a red, then I'm going to get purple. But if I want pink on the ends, which is a form of red, I really need to get rid of that green. So let's look at how her hair turned out. Do we see any green on those ends?
Mm-mm.
Nope, no green. And that's because I took and mixed, I wanted some vibrancy on the end. So I mixed our Lovesick and our Hustler. Those are the colors I wanted for the end results. So in order to get rid of that green on the bottom and to give that blue a little bit more of a purple tone, I added in 1/10 of an ounce of our Diablo, which is our red. And as you can see, no pond scum green. I absolutely love that you can use that color wheel to cancel out any color that may be left in there from the last time they done it or from a fade out. So you can layer and mix vivids. My customer had blue. I wanted purple. I layered in that pink and added a little bit of red. So you can mix blue and pink to get purple. Yellow and pink is going to give you coral or peach. Blue and yellow gives you green. But then, guys, if you want to cut this down and go pastel, use our clear formula. This stuff is phenomenal and it works amazing, and you can use it as a standalone service. Just throwing that out there. It does a deep conditioning treatment and it's going to do repair and put a protective gloss over their hair. So, why does the canvas matter? So, with Vivids, they're direct dyes. That means they don't lift, they don't deposit. The results depend entirely on your base color. So, a level 10 is going to give you your most accurate results. Here's some of our favorite fashion colors that I have done over the years with multiple color lines. So here, these are some that I've done when we first started the fashion colors inside of Smart Style. Some of these are some that have been done throughout my entire career, but they're anything from Pravana to Joico. And yes, I even have some of the Danger Jones pictures in here. The one thing I love about fashion colors is it is a form of self expression. And I've tried almost every brand out there over the last 2 decades, and I keep coming back to Danger Jones and Joico. But the Danger Jones has to be my favorite because of how intense their vivid colors are. And then on top of that, this staying power, how well these colors are going to last. Like some of these results, you can get so creative. This is just two different colors of red. That was about 4 different shades of blue. You can mix and match, you can customize. But the biggest thing is always if your customer brings in a picture or an idea of what they're looking for, let them know. The pictures are, just an idea. They're not necessarily our final destination. And keep your work creative. Like these are things that I've done in the past. And if this works, so well, I have customers in their 70s that come in and want these fashion colors done because it makes them feel fun. There's all kinds of different people that are looking for these. And I always get told, I wish I was as brave as you. And I'm like, you know what? It's just fashion color. It's going to wash out. So if you don't like it, it's super easy to remove. But how are you going to know unless you try? Now, this one's a mixture of Joico and Danger Jones. And then this one is straight up Danger Jones. That's the Hustler. She already had highlights. This one is a little bit of both. Thank you, Kat.